The fate of Prime Minister Boris Johnson will be decided sooner than anyone thought. It's been confirmed that Tory members of Parliament will hold no confidence motion against Johnson sometime between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK local time today. This basically means that the threshold of 54 letters withdrawing their support to the Prime Minister has been met or even exceeded. The voting will be held today and counted immediately afterwards. Sir Graham Brady, the chairman of the Conservative Party's 1922 committee, told reporters today that he had notified the Prime Minister yesterday.
I'll say what was in the written statement if it's helpful to you, which is simply to say that the threshold of 15% of the parliamentary party seeking a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister has been passed. Therefore, a vote of confidence will take place within the rules of the 1922 committee. That vote will take place this evening in the House of Commons between 6 and 8 o'clock, and we will announce the result shortly thereafter. There will be arrangements for proxy votes for any colleagues who can't be present in person in Westminster, and we'll notify colleagues of those arrangements in the near future.
To survive in office, Johnson will need the backing of at least half of his members of Parliament plus one, which translates to a minimum of 180 votes. Remember, while 54 ministers have called for the no-trust vote, at least 180 ministers need to back the Prime Minister for him to stay in Downing Street. If Johnson loses the confidence vote, there will be a leadership contest and his replacement would become Prime Minister. Number 10 has reacted, saying that Boris Johnson welcomed the opportunity to make his case to the Tory ministers and that today's vote is a chance to end months of speculation, allowing the government to draw a line and move on. Support for the Prime Minister is already pouring in. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss tweeted that Johnson has 100% of her backing and urged fellow Tory ministers to support him. Several other ministers have also spoken out in favour, including Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Simon Clarke. These confirmations come after speculations that some Tory ministers wanted to trigger the no-confidence vote after 23rd of June. That's when two by-elections are scheduled to be held in Wakefield and Tiverton, and the Tories are expected to lose both seats. Johnson, appointed Prime Minister in 2019, has been under growing pressure, unable to move on from the Sue Gray report that documented alcohol-fueled parties at the heart of power when Britain was under strict lockdowns to tackle COVID-19. And for more updates on this story, our correspondent Chris Jones has sent us this report from London.
This is probably the biggest test of Boris Johnson's leadership as Prime Minister. We'll see Conservative members of Parliament vote between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. UK time today. They'll be voting as to whether they want Prime Minister Boris Johnson to continue as Prime Minister or whether they want a new leader or not. We'll really see if around about 180 votes is needed for a majority. That will likely happen. Boris Johnson has a large majority within the government itself, and after all, only 15% of Conservative MPs were needed to enact this vote of no confidence to go ahead. And it's really going to be a test for Boris Johnson. If he wins, he will gain 1 year's immunity. He won't be challenged for his leadership until another year, perhaps. But it might be that the damage is already done. As you mentioned, the Partygate scandal has really damaged his reputation in the eyes of the electorate, who are really kind of rallying against him. And we saw that on Friday at the Queen's special Thanksgiving service at St Paul's Cathedral. There were real audible boos as he and his wife, Carrie Johnson, made their way up to the cathedral. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out later on.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.